Hello, gossipers. Please like, share, subscribe, and welcome to Reality Talk. Let's take a listen.
Breaking news, a man killed 8 children, 7 of whom were his own, in a mass shooting in Shreveport, Louisiana. The suspect, identified as 31-year-old Army veteran Shamar Elkins, is believed to have killed 7 of his own children, along with another child connected to the family. 2 adult women were also shot and remain in critical condition. The mayor of that city describing the crime scene as horrific. 8 children discovered in a home, all of them shot and killed. Police say the youngest victim was just 18 months old. The oldest was 12. Police confirm the attack was not random, but stemmed from a domestic dispute that escalated into extreme violence. Investigators say a total of 10 people were shot, including 8 children between the ages of 1 and 14, all of whom tragically died. Authorities say the situation unfolded across multiple locations, turning it into a fast-moving and complex crime scene. After the shootings, Elkins allegedly carjacked a vehicle and attempted to flee, leading police on a pursuit. The incident came to an end when law enforcement shot and killed the suspect during that chase. Officials are still working to determine the exact motive, but early findings point to ongoing family conflict and relationship issues leading up to the attack. This case is now being described as one of the deadliest and most heartbreaking incidents in the history of Shreveport, and it has left the entire community in shock.
Hello, gossiper. Sharoni here. So we're going to talk about the unaliving that took place in Louisiana, and it's just so sad. 8 kids between the ages of 1 to 14 taken out by their father. Now they're saying that 7 of the kids belong to the monster, right? There's no other way to frame it. And the 7th child, we're not quite sure who that child's belonged to. Also, 2 women were shot. One was his wife. Both women are in critical condition, fighting for their lives in the hospital. And this took place between 3 homes, right? So we're going to read this article. This is a news that's going on, worldwide, especially in America where it took place. So we're going to read this quick article. It says, the maniac who slaughtered 7 of his children and 1 of their cousins in Louisiana on Sunday was set to do battle with his estranged wife in divorce court Monday. So today he was supposed to go up against his wife, his estranged wife. And, it's like, is this punishment to want to take away your kids and the mother? I don't get people's, thoughts, mentality. This has to be mental illness. Even if people are like, no, he knew what he was doing. There's no. Anyone who can sit there and say, I'm going to take people's life, something mentally is wrong with them. And, we're going to continue the reading. It says, stress-riddled. They're saying he was stress-riddled. Army vet Shamar Elkins, he's 31, called his mom and stepdad on Easter Sunday to tell him that his wife of 2 years had filed for divorce, chillingly adding that he wanted to off himself and was drowning in dark thoughts, the New York Times reported. So he was having dark thoughts. Said Jackson said he told his despondent son-in-law that he could overcome problems if he stood strong. Elkins replied grimly, some people don't come back from their demons, Jackson recalled to the outlet. The unaliver then ended up taking out the 8 children execution style Sunday morning. He also turned the gun on his soon-to-be ex-wife, who was hit several times in the head and stomach, and the woman to believe his girlfriend, Christina Snow, who was S in the Ed. Kin identified Snow as his girlfriend. Now, here you are with your estranged wife. You have your girlfriend. Why on God's green earth would you want to take out your estranged wife and the kids? You already moved on. You have a girlfriend. So what's the big deal? Oh my gosh. It says Prague was hospitalized with life-threatening injuries, officials said. Snow also was severely wounded. So those are the two women. So one was his girlfriend and one his estranged wife. Elkins had 2 previous convictions for driving while intoxicated in 2016 and for the illegal use of weapons in 2019. In March 2019, a police report detailed that the National Guard vet pulled a 9mm hand gun from his waistband and shot at a vehicle 5 times after a driver pulled a hand gun on him, with one of Elkins' bullets being discovered near a school where children were playing. So now this sounds like road rage. It says he also had a history of alluding to mental health struggles and marriage woes on Facebook. So this is what he wrote. He said, "Dear God, today I ask you to help me guard my mind and my emotions. When negativity arises, remind me to say it does not belong to me in the name of Jesus." So he wrote that on April 9th. A month earlier, he wrote on social media, "Dads, if you could go back, hold on, oh my gosh, if you could go back in time and have kids with a different woman but still have the same children, would you do it?" Oh my God. So it sounds like his vendetta, his hatred for his estranged wife was to the point where it's like, I would love to have my children, but not by that woman. Like he said, he wants to have the same children. He does not want it by that woman. And because that woman gave him, the children, he's like, no, I can't stand her. Oh my gosh. So the victims unalived by their father have been identified as Jayla 3, Shayla 5, Kayla 6, Layla 7. Like, have a little rhyme right there, right? Jayla, Shayla, Kayla, Layla. Then you have Markadon, who's 10. Soraya, who's 11. Kedarian, who's 6. And Braylon, who's 5. 7 of the 8 were his own children, and the 8th was their cousin. Wow. Though it was not immediately clear which of the victims was the cousin, they were all found unalive inside the family home in Shreveport. So yes, that's the update on the story. So they had court today, to go to court with his estranged wife, and because he didn't want to, not knowing the outcome, he's like, I'm going to take them out. And the signs were there because, his mother and stepfather, he called in and told him he was not feeling in a good place. And they're telling him to be strong. When is telling someone how you feel enough for you to go and say, get help? And, he was showing signs. And the sad part is, you have a girlfriend, your estranged wife. If she's like, I want full custody of the kids, let it play out in court. Go to court, do what you have to do, leave it alone, and you keep fighting to be with your kids. Now, I can only assume that's what was getting him upset. Now, I don't know when it comes to assets and properties and things like those. But again, don't take it to where you're taking lives just because you're upset with someone. You can't get your own way. Let the process play out and fight. If you know you're a good father, you love your kids, fight for your kids. Don't take your kids out. And he himself was taken down by police officers because he tried to escape, hijack a car, everything like that. So now, it's sad. I keep saying I don't understand it. Just like with the story last week with the government person who unalived his wife. Why? Because they were also going through a divorce. But he did it with their teenage kids in the house. Teenagers who will remember that for the rest of their life. Oh, gossipers, we need, it's sad. These are kids that weren't able to, oh gosh. Now, they're saying that there was another child in there, but that child got out. So I'm sure that child now is struggling. Not only the child, but the first responders, the police, the firefighters, the EMT workers to go there and to see, walk into that scene of kids. Oh my gosh. You got to be strong to do jobs like these. You have to be strong. And again, if you have a family member or friend, if you hear them keep saying to you, they're not good, they're depressed, they feel like this, they feel like that. And the sad thing is they're saying it and you're thinking, if anything, they'll only cause harm to themselves. No, they can go out and cause harm, sorry, my words, to anyone. They can cause harm to anyone. So not because they're saying, I'm depressed, I don't feel like going out today, I don't feel like eating today, I don't feel like doing anything today. Just try motivate them to get some help, some therapy. Go on medication. That's why medications are there. Do your research on medications to help. Anyways, gossipers, what are your thoughts? Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching and listening.